I absolutely feel at this time that dentists should, at one point during the month, issue refund checks. You definitely want to be looking at your production report every day, your collections report every day. Trust means nothing.
Today we have Michelle Repash, the founder of Integrity Billing. She's going to bring us some excellent information. So strap into your seats, get ready. You're going to be shocked in some ways with this interview. Rest assured, you will be surprised. Michelle, thank you so much for coming in and spending time with us today. I am so glad you're here. I know you were sick the other week and we couldn't get you on, but we're so happy to have you on and so happy that you're feeling much better. What's going on with you today?
Thank you so much, Ward. I really appreciate the invitation and the
Yes,
opportunity to sit here with you and just chat, about dental stuff in the dental space,
yes,
around billing,
yes,
revenue, cycle management. So
yes.
um, I just appreciate the opportunity. Let's see. I want to just introduce, I guess, first, that it's not a billing problem as far as revenue cycle management is concerned. It is most definitely an oversight problem. So, most dentists believe that revenue problems come from insurance or billing inefficiencies. What I've seen across hundreds of practices is something very different. A revenue loss, whether from embezzlement, errors, or compliance failures, almost always originates upstream in areas that no one is actively overseeing.
Mm, yeah. So you don't have any they don't have any guardrails to um, foresee it
Mhm.
in the future or to protect it currently or protect them currently. So, wow, that sounds like a I mean, like an operation that needs eyes. That needs
Yes.
some kind of surveillance, because as I'm sure you're going to get into uh, a deeper dive as to what happens if they don't. So go right ahead. Don't let me stop you. I appreciate you just mentioning that piece. That's very important.
Sure. Sure. So dentists are trained clinically,
Yes,
right? I mean, that's what they go to dental school for, right?
absolutely.
To learn clinical skills. They're not trained operationally. So what happens is that they delegate critical financial processes without any structure for oversight. So when you combine delegation with a lack of visibility, you create the perfect environment for three things:
Okay.
undetected errors,
Hmm.
process breakdowns, right? And in some cases, intentional embezzlement.
Ooh.
Mhm. The issue isn't trust, the issue is architecture. So I have a few case examples here for you, where embezzlement was just uh, uncovered. Um,
So this is a recent.
Not well, within a couple of years. Yes, for sure. So yes. Yes, we know that you always see that, so and so went to jail, so and so office manager of so and so office, for embezzlement, and that's where they should be, right? It's stealing. However, the opportunity for the office manager or front desk people or anyone in an administrative, even a clinical role, um, the major problem is that there are no eyes on anything. Dentist owner, as I just said, goes to dental school to be a clinician. However, when he opens his own practice, he owns everything under that roof.
Absolutely.
The idea is to um, have oversight, of course, first and foremost. I certainly don't want to turn any dentists into, billers, dental billers, but I have very, very, very strong opinions that they absolutely need to know where to go, what to look for, what they should be doing on a daily basis. Don't just look at the AR report, that's a lagging indicator that there's a problem. There's just so much more that's to it. So, let me just tell you this first case study, okay? And then I will offer some little tidbits on how this kind of thing could be managed from an owner's perspective.
Okay.
Okay, does that sound okay?
Sure,
All
absolutely.
right.
Please do.
All right. So there was, a mid-sized dental practice. They began noticing cash flow inconsistencies despite stable production and collections on paper. The monthly production report was consistent.
Okay.
Insurance payments were within normal ranges, patient volume unchanged. Yet the doctor felt that something was off. He approached and said, "We're working just as hard, but the money isn't where it should be." So that's a classic early signal,
Okay.
right? So here is kind of the overall scenario. The office manager had a full control over everything dental, billing related, everything administratively. Patient ledger adjustments, refund processing, credit card transactions, reconciliation, reporting. Okay. So what she did was she exploited a structural gap in the system. The issue was not just theft, it was system design failures. So what she was actually doing was she was identifying accounts that had credit balances, overpayments, prepayments, small unapplied credits. And what she would do is process a legitimate refund in the practice management system marked as a patient refund, properly documented in the ledger,
Mhm.
but she was redirecting these refunds to her own personal credit card
Oh,
instead of the patient's original payment method. Patients rarely questioned small credits. No one was looking at the verification of refunds. There was no separation of duties. She did all of it. So again, I'm going to say that the issue was not just theft, it was a system design failure. No dual authorization for refunds. And quite honestly, I do not feel at all at this point in the game anyway that refunds should even be given to a credit card. It's very easy, very nice. However, that means that anybody could just send money wherever they wanted to send it to, whoever owns whatever card. I I absolutely feel at this time that dentists should, at one point during the month, issue refund checks.
You say
I know
it should be a check as opposed to
they should, for right now,
credit
yes,
card.
issue refund checks, just to kind of just get stable and put some necessary controls in place. So dentists, they don't, there's no authorization for refunds. It's just assumed that so and so administrator is going to process refunds to the credit card.
Hmm.
There's also no audit of the refund reports versus the merchant account.
Oh my goodness.
So okay, so here is your first clue.
Yeah.
You do not, as an owner, a practicing dentist, you do not just want to say, yeah, everything matches up and that's it. You definitely want to be looking at other indicators. This is one of them.
Hmm.
Your merchant account statement is going to show every single refund. It's going to show the activity that went on under your merchant account. So in this case, the same person controlled the ledger, refunds, reconciliation. Doctor was not reviewing reports, the credit card batch reports, no requirements, to refund to the original form of payment. But the scheme unraveled during a targeted audit of credit balances. And what happened was a patient called asking about a refund that they had never received.
Oh,
Yes. So the ledger showed that the refund was processed. Patient confirmed that the refund was never received. When reviewing the merchant account, though, it showed a refund, but to a different card. A sample audit revealed multiple similar transactions. The pattern was confirmed that all of these payments, they were small transactions, $75, $120. They were all being refunded to the same card.
credit card.
That card belonged to the office manager. So this is intentional. Embezzlement schemes survive on low visibility and
Yeah.
high frequency transactions.
High
Right?
frequency.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah. So that's just one of many that I have come across in my 36 years.
Hmm. So
hmm
what was this did they find out exactly how much you wind up embezzling? What was
They did
that number?
$26,000.
Oh wow.
Rounded, of course. I mean, that wasn't the actual figure, but that's rounded. Yeah, it was $26,000.
Over what type of how long did she have this going on? Did it say?
She was the employee that had worked for this practice the longest.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
So I'm sorry, but what kind of span? What was the
oh, that
interval?
was over. Yes, I apologize. That was over a period of I believe it was two years.
Over a 2 year period. Wow. So, 12, $13,000, compounded annually over 5 years can be,
Yeah,
over a 20-year period can be a lot of money.
right. hmm
I mean, but I mean, like, even as it is, you know, nobody wants to lose money. $26,000 is nothing to just say, oh, okay, then you can have that.
Oh, right,
Nobody wants to do that.
right,
I don't know how
right.
many things that you can do with $26,000 in your business, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, no, you're fine. It's totally fine. There's actually a website, and oh my gosh, I wish I remembered the name of it, but
Can you describe it?
um
What did it do?
People who have been, or dental office managers who have been convicted of embezzlement. I think it's called the $1 million club, something like that. That's a very, very real site. I wonder if I can.
Well, I mean, I'm sure. I mean, like if you can't find it, because this information that you're giving is great. I think
Mhm.
anybody, if they want to find it, they can pull it up on chat. Chat will find it for
Oh, you can find it for sure. Yes, absolutely. I do know that there is a website though, and I do believe that it's called the $1 million Club or something
them.
along those lines.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And it's just, it's very sad that stuff like this even happens, but let's face it,
Uh-huh.
if you're working for someone, if you are employed by someone and they're not looking at anything you're doing, anything. I mean, I'm not saying that I would partake in that kind of a thing, but that just leaves everything wide open. That just leaves so much room for too many people to be doing too many things. And just that's how stuff like this happens. That we definitely need to have a strategy, policies, and controls in place.
And that's something that I'm sure that you're going to kind of help us map out while we have you online today.
Mm,
That'll
yes.
be
So
great. Or at
I
least give some
can.
kind of schematic.
Yes. First and foremost, in this case, you definitely want to have, good financial policies, for the patient, absolutely, but also for your office.
Mm-hmm.
Dentist owner is handing literally his money over to someone to manage. Our and this is not saying that there are not exceptional, office managers out there.
Yes.
There are, of
Yes.
course, absolutely. There are many, 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 but there are also others that they've just don't, yeah, I really don't, I don't want to say, anything too negative. I mean, everyone is trying to make a living.
Yes.
There is, however, no reason ever at all, ever for embezzling intentionally. There's just not under any circumstance at all. Um, and we have to make sure that doctor owner is not just saying, it's not a trust thing, it's a systems thing.
Yes.
If there are systems in place,
Yes.
then people will be less apt to jump outside of the systems because there will be accountability.
Yes. Totally
Mhm.
agree.
Yes.
Totally agree.
Yes, there will be accountability. So, first and foremost, what I would like to encourage every dentist who is watching today, every dentist owner, please, 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 first thing, get your merchant reports for the last 3 months, go through them, see what they look like. What do they say? Don't be afraid to ask the questions. Don't be afraid to ask the questions. If an office manager or a staff member gets offended by you asking questions, then you need to take a much deeper look at what's
Oh,
at what's happening.
that
You
telltale
do.
sign.
You do. That's just that is the hard reality. The first thing as someone who owns a dental billing company that always strikes me is someone who does not want to show a doctor anything.
Oh my.
anything. He'll walk up to the front desk and ask a question about this or that, and she'll just say, "This is my area. It's not yours. This I manage this, so don't you worry about it." Never takes a vacation. Never takes time off. Everything is just under that one person. That is just ill advised. I would never suggest keeping everything under the realm of one person unless that person is yourself as the owner. So
Or your spouse.
or yeah, yes, yes, of course, or your spouse. However, we know that that's not realistic. So what we really want to do is just have systems in place. On X day every month, you're going to go over blah blah blah. These reports. You definitely want to be looking at your production report every day, your collections report every day,
Oh my.
your deposit slip every day, and your adjustment report. And adjustments, especially, they're another way that people can take money is they hide adjustments on earlier dates of service. So we're in 2026,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If somebody has an account and they've been coming to the dentist since 2022, they will find an old account in 2022 or earlier, or somewhere prior to 2026, and just do an adjustment there, and money is just pocketed.
So the adjustment is then what? Charged to whom?
The adjustment will just go. So the adjustment is meant to offset cash coming in. So if I bring in $20 to you to pay you, and your front desk person says, "Okay, perfect. Thanks so much for paying," puts the money, the $20 in her pocket, she still needs to account for it. So what she will do is make the notation of the $20 deposit, and then go back, I mean, the $20 payment, and then go back and offset it by doing an adjustment of $20.
2022.
Mhm,
In 2022.
mhm.
Ooh wee.
You want to be just monitoring your adjustment report on a daily basis. And here's even more so, because changes happen lots of times after hours. You want to review everything at the end of your month or the beginning of the following month for the month prior. You want to look at absolutely everything. Unfortunately, there are even people out there who bank on the fact that doctor is not watching.
Mm.
You know,
So I'm sorry. So that
it-
adjustment is going to show the logging of that adjustment is going to show uh, today's date, or they're just going to reach back. Even if they reach back, if they okay, so if they made an adjustment and say it's an account that started back in 2022, uh, if they make the adjustment, they pocket the $20 and they make the adjustment, is that adjustment's going to be there for that particular week or month or whatever it is, so the doctor could like see that, or do they need to go back to 2022 to see it? Is-
No, so for your reports, there are two ways actually to run your reports. You always, 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 when you run your reports, your month end, your day end, your weekend, by entry date. So yeah, I am so sorry.
no worries.
This is all shut off too, so I'm so sorry about that.
No, I'm listening. You can keep talking while you're doing that. That's fine.
Goodness.
Because
So,
you're getting into some real good meat here. I want to
mhm,
keep
yeah,
the momentum.
yeah, and definitely by entry date, so that you may physically have to change the default on your reports when printing reports to entry date.
Oh yeah,
Yes, because what happens is it will pull everything that
yeah,
happened on that day. And
yeah,
of course, audit trails as well, right?
yes.
Part of what Integrity Dental Billing does is we run an audit trail on every single person, every staff member that's responsible for anything financially every quarter. We do it on every staff member for all of our clients
Oh
every
wow.
quarter. Yes, every quarter,
Mm,
including our own employees.
yeah,
That's what we do. That's part of our controls.
yeah.
Mhm.
Great information. Great tip. Appreciate that. Well, what else you have for us? I mean, that was really spicy. I really, I'm sure the listening uh, community will be taking that into, especially the investment piece where you going back, or the adjustment piece, and
Mhm.
even the adjust the whole idea of using credit cards
Mhm.
and creating a credit card to
Mhm.
take money
Mhm.
over a 2 year period. This is really great. Anything else you want to share with us with that same regard at this point,
With that same regard, no, I don't think
or
so.
something similar?
Yeah, um, yes. So there also, is
Example.
another statement that I hear quite often
Okay.
in an office, and that statement is, "We've always done it this way." Have you heard that too, Ward?
Yeah.
Uh,
Right. Yeah.
Guess what? Laws change, and I'm not kidding, almost on a daily basis. What
Hmm.
was true yesterday may not be true today.
Okay.
So definitely, for sure, someone who was working administratively 15 years ago who has always done it this way, you definitely want to be checking just to be certain that everything is in alignment, with even legislatively, even federal laws. Um, it's not worth it, because the other common statement that I hear is, "I didn't know."
Oh, yes.
Yes. So
So what happens when you don't know?
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So I can appreciate that dentists went to school to, be clinicians. I understand that. And who the heck wants to be involved administratively, right? I mean, you're there to be a dentist, and that's what you
That's
hire
right.
staff to take care of, right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's the whole premise. That's the
Yeah.
whole idea. So we've already kind of touched on that, and that's fantastic and that's great, but you definitely need to have systems, controls, processes. Trust means nothing.
Hmm.
On the other side of that as well, if ex office manager or front desk person starts working for you, and they've been, for 15 years in dentistry, that's fantastic and kudos, and, terrific. Thank you for all your years. You definitely want to make sure that what they are expressing to you as something that is allowed because they've always done it that way. You definitely want to be verifying. You want to be verifying that. And I'm, total and complete transparency here. I was that office manager. I
Mm.
was. Yeah, I was. I was the one who said, "Oh, for goodness sake, I've been doing this for 20 years. I know what I'm doing." Uh-huh. Until, yeah, I was the one. And hard, fast reality check when I really started digging in and researching just different Facebook groups and different, people that I surrounded myself with. I was not doing anything right. I
Mm.
shouldn't say anything, but I definitely, there were many things that I needed to brush up on. So that just put me into major research. It's just things change. They
Yeah.
change all the time. It's not a one and done type of a thing. And that's just, that's the sad reality.
Mhm.
Dental school does not teach this stuff
No.
to dentists.
No.
So as far as, we have always done it this way.
Yeah.
I had a practitioner, so it was a multi-provider
Hmm.
general practice.
Hmm.
So it operated, of course, under a flawed assumption that billing under the owner dentist's credentials was acceptable as long as the practice was in network. This assumption, reinforced by a long tenured office manager, ultimately exposed the dentist to significant legal, financial, and licensure risk.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a very real thing. And even especially in the world of Medicaid, Medicare, especially in that realm. And that's just another whole talk right there. And this specifically was a common insurance carrier. There were two full-time, not credentialed associate dentists.
Oh.
Yeah, two hygienists, the office manager. So, and of course, their software was a standard PMS. So the office manager actually advised the owner doctor that credentialing takes too long and reimbursement is better under his name. She's always done it this way. So what happened was that all procedures, regardless of who performed them, were billed under the owner dentist.
Oh my
Mhm.
goodness.
Claims listed the owner as the treating provider, even when associates were the ones who rendered care. There was no internal tracking of actual rendering provider versus billing provider,
Mm.
and no disclosure to payers. So the owner dentist, of course, he did not understand payer credentialing requirements. He had delegated all the billing oversight entirely to the office manager,
Mm.
assumed operational decisions were compliant due to her experience. Believed that this was an efficiency strategy, not a compliance violation. So here they come, right? Payer audit, initiated by the carrier after identifying unusual provider, utilization patterns, high production volume attributed solely to one provider.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes
inconsistent,
sense. That makes sense.
right?
They would audit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is something else. I know I just keep interrupting my own self, but dentists are just so fascinated with the inception of AI, and it is a wonderful, wonderful tool. We love
Yeah.
AI, but think about this too. Just like you're using AI to diagnose decay
Mhm.
or help with your perio probing, whatever, or write your clinical notes, whatever it might be. Your carriers that you send claims to every day are also analyzing your patterns, your claim submission patterns.
And probably using it with AI.
Mhm.
AI is
They are.
probably doing the scanning and all
Yes,
of that. Yeah.
very much so. And there is an increase in payer audits. They are, finding unusual things like, for example, extraction code. Every single extraction in the office billed out at the surgical extraction code D7210. They never ever, this carrier never sees a D7140. That's a simple extraction. That is a pattern. That is also a flag. Chances are you're going to get a letter from the carrier they're going to follow up
Mm.
with that. Yeah. Coding is not just words, it's not just a language, it's a legal descriptor of what you actually did in that
Okay.
procedure.
Mm.
Yeah, a legal descriptor, and your clinical notes anymore have to match
Mm.
exactly what you're coding for. Narratives, no more. They do not want the narrative on the claim form. They want your clinical notes.
Mm.
They want straight from the doctor. What did this procedure entail?
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, there were in this case, inconsistencies between treatment notes and billing patterns. The payer reached out and requested a clinical documentation, provider schedules, treatment logs. What they found out was that procedures performed by non-credentialed associates were billed under the owner dentist. The owner dentist was not even physically present for many of the services billed under his name.
And how did they find that out?
It's not hard. They trust me, they will know. They will know. I mean, think about it. If it's on the schedule that Dr. Jones is blocked off for a 2 week period of time,
Yeah.
but
And
no
all that
clinical
under
notes
no
and claims are
registration.
still going. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Mhm.
got you. That's
Yes.
interesting. Wow.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No documentation supported that the owner directly rendered or supervised
Mm.
build procedures. So, first things first, we have a misrepresentation of the treating provider. Violation of PPO contract terms and false claims exposure.
And what is the general what happens? Do they get fined for that? Do they get, they lose their
Mhm.
license? What happens?
That it can be all of the above. I would, in this particular case, um, they were kicked out of network. They are definitely handed a fine, and they had to pay back the money that the insurance company paid to them for these procedures that were billed inappropriately.
Yeah, for every infraction.
Hmm.
And that could just like, if they were like, say, if that went on for a couple years and
Hmm.
they find tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars uh, in that particular area that's been with that type of infraction would, oh man, would put a number of
Yeah.
people out of business.
Yeah, right. Last, I do believe, and I don't want to say that this is gospel, of course, because I've not looked in a little bit, and things do change. Last that I reviewed the False Claims Act, I do believe that it was $11,000 per instance.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
eleven
And,
thousand
and
dollars.
per
What?
instance.
Dang.
So that's per claim.
Yes.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah. The other thing, word that many I have heard many owners say is that there has to be knowledge. There has to be an intent to defraud. So, saying, "Oh, I had no idea," would cover them. You would not believe how many people I have heard say that, and that actually is not at all true. Deliberate ignorance and reckless disregard, intent to
Not a
defraud.
good thing.
It's not required. Operational ignorance or blind reliance on staff. That's definitely something that meets the criteria for fraud because they
Mm,
expect owner oversight.
mm, mm,
Mhm.
mm. So, I mean, just a second or so. Do you have any data on how many dentists have actually had to go to jail because they did not know or something along those lines? I mean, like, is there like numbers out there that you can share with us
Numbers, man. Let me see if
like
I
that?
actually did grab some numbers, but I can, and I do not think for 1 minute that this person will mind at all because he is now a speaker on the subject. Roy Shelburne.
Hmm.
If you Google royshelburne.com, this a very, very thing happened to him, and he spent 19 months in prison.
How do you spell that last name?
Shelburne.
Okay.
He is a speaker on this very subject right now. So I feel confident, giving that to you. Yeah, and he was and I don't know person, so 19 months of his life,
In
loss
jail.
of yeah, loss of his license,
A loss of his license
hmm
forever?
I can't say with 100% certainty, but I know that he is now a speaker on the subject. I cannot confirm whether or not he ever got his license back.
Oh my God.
Hmm.
Yeah, once you kind of like something like that happens to you, nobody wants to come in and work
Uh-uh.
with you anyway,
Yeah,
even if you
yeah,
do get your license back
right. And his story, he was actually out of town when
when it happened.
all of this stuff. I believe he was attending CE, possibly somewhere,
Goodness
and
gracious.
yeah, it just everything,
Oh my
just
God.
yeah, just crashed around
Mm.
him. And I again, I don't want to quote too much of his story, but he is, an amazing person, and he uses his story to help others to understand that this, like, no, like you can't do that, don't do it. So, I definitely look him up. He is a great person. There are also legal entities, believe it or not, that you need to verify and check with. So the Office of the Inspector General keeps a list called the exclusion list.
Hmm.
You have to verify that list once a month. for every single staff member that works at your practice. So anyone who bills, you don't have to be in network. You do not have to be in network, but if you send a dental claim to even any Medicare Advantage plan, and this honestly could just be an Aetna claim or a Cigna claim or a Humana claim. There doesn't, they don't necessarily say Medicare Advantage. That's the staff's job to figure out what kind of a plan it is. But if you send any claims to any federal plans, you absolutely must complete the fraud, waste, and abuse training every year. And it is free on the website.
And who has to take that? The actual the
Every
clinician?
single staff member, every staff member,
Oh, wow.
everyone.
I didn't
Mhm.
know that.
Yeah, whether or not all you have to do is if you send a claim to any federal plan,
One time.
doctor, everybody has to have documented that they took the course, and they keep track of it
And
on
you have to take that
online
course every year?
every year.
Or every year that you actually uh, take care of a patient that has those type of plans, right? If you
Mhm.
service a patient that has those type of plans, then that's something that you would have to do. But if you don't service those people that have those type of plans, that's not an issue, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
You're right. You are right about that. But I would just caution everyone to. I mean, honestly, on the off chance that someone comes in and has a certain kind of a plan, maybe it's your, mailman, right? Or who knows, U.S. postal workers. It's just not even bad at all. It's not at all hard. For sure would just take the course. It's free. It's free and it's offered online.
Is it an hour course, a half hour?
It's you know what look, I yes, it's supposed to be. So you just take the course online and answer the questions, and you get a certificate printed out for that year.
Boy, that's a
That
lot
can
of
be
hoops. Oh my God, that's a lot of hoops.
oh, there
Everybody
are
on the staff has to do that. Oh my God.
everybody,
Aside
including
from the other
doctor.
gazillion things that you have to do.
Mhm. Yeah,
Oh,
that should just be part of your yearly compliance. So you have your HIPAA, you have your OSHA. Why not do fraud, waste, and abuse as well? And the exclusion list has to be monitored and documented every month, that no staff member is on the exclusions list. The
oh yeah.
exclusions list means that a certain person has been excluded from working in that area.
Capacity.
Mhm. Yep.
Ooh. So if they found that these people that's on the exclusion list
They
are
can't
working,
employ them. Mhm.
but I mean, suppose they employ them without knowing,
You
then
have
then
to
you cannot
verify.
go. Yep, that goes back to that same little deal we were talking
Yep.
about before with the fraud issue.
Right.
Oh my
I
God.
don't know is not a thing. Mhm. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
you know what? And you saying that now? Let's, if you don't mind me
No,
saying,
no. Mhm.
you are currently working on some pieces that's
Mhm.
going to help people create guardrails uh, to navigate
Mhm.
these type of issues. Do
Yes.
you want? I mean, it's up to you. If you want to just give them a smidget of what to expect in this book that you're writing.
Yes. The book will be published very soon. It is not yet, but it will be published very soon. Book number one is titled The Invisible Revenue Problem. That that book is just it's one of many, we'll say. So it's definitely the beginning of the series. I am right now developing a framework, a whole new discipline on how we approach revenue cycle management. I guess if that's what we want to call it. So my position on that is, why are we managing it? Why don't we have systems in place that protect it? Why are we submitting claims and then chasing money later on after it's a problem? So your AR report is just a lagging indicator that there's something wrong, but that something wrong sits in your systems. So yes, I am in the process right now of developing the framework. I don't want to say too much more on that because, first off, I'm a woman, so I change my mind tomorrow and it might not be what I announced today, right? So, um, for all practical purposes, revenue protection architecture is a thing, and it is meant to design systems that protect your revenue on the front end, protect it upstream instead of going through all the processes and having everything or a bunch of money land on your AR report. Your AR report is money. That's money. That's just not a bunch of paper with numbers on it.
That's right.
Yeah, that's
That is so
real
true.
money.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So, and what brought me to that was just all the years, of course, that I've been doing this. The pattern is always the same, always,
Mm,
every single time.
mm.
In revenue cycle management, the underlying problems are always in the same area.
Revenue protection architecture. I just
Mhm,
love that. That
mhm.
just sounds like it's meaty. You know, I know we've been going for an hour. We got to break this segment up. I'm going to bring you back because this issue needs to be covered thoroughly.
Mhm.
People need to hear more of this. This is like, oh my God. It just needs to be said. People need to kind of grab it and hold on to it. Congratulations on what you're doing. I really, 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 really want to bring you back so that people can get some more because you just, yeah, I mean, like this is we're just getting started.
No, you're
Um,
right. Mhm.
so, is there anything that you want to say before we draw this to an end for now?
Again, I definitely appreciate the opportunity to be here with you. And coming from someone who has spent 36 years, doing dentistry, starting off chairside and growing into where I'm at right now. The problem was always the same from day one. Like, how can I help to make sure that dentists are paid for the services that they are doing,
Mm,
legally and compliantly, of
yes.
course. So, I'm just appreciate your time today. For sure. Thank you so much. And if anyone wants to reach out with questions, feel
Yes.
free. I'm happy to talk to you.
Great. And how would they contact you, Michelle, if they wanted?
They can contact me at info at billingwithintegrity.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us. This information that's like riveting, and I'm sure people are going to grab it and says, "Okay, I want more. How can I contact Michelle?" Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate
Thank
you
you.
spending the time.
Thank you, sir.
The Wealthy Dentist podcast is built on connections, opportunities, and meaningful conversations that help jumpstart careers and boost the ROI on your business. Is there a topic you're passionate about or someone in the dental community who should share their story with us? We want to hear from you. Email your suggestions to the Wealthy Dentist Podcast at gmail.com, and let's create content that informs, inspires, and uplifts the dental world. Your ideas could spark our next big conversation. Let's make it happen. I'm Ward Powell, your host at the Wealthy Dentist Podcast, thanking you for being a part of our journey.